moment in Arsenal's goalless draw with Liverpool last night. Roy Keane and Gary Neville labelled Gabriel Martinelli's behaviour disgraceful after he appeared to push Conor Bradley off the pitch whilst the Liverpool fullback was injured. Then he dropped the ball on him as well. Martinelli was booked by the referee Anthony Taylor. Dermot, I'll come to you first on this one. It wasn't anything any of us like to see. Under the laws of the game, though, should it have been punished more severely? He received that yellow.
Difficult to say, because what happens when he drops the ball, it's not wise, and then we have all this pushing and shoving. I think if the players leave it alone and Martinelli's left alone, it's easy for the referee to deal with Martinelli alone. Once the other players get involved, it ramps up everything on all the different players. So I think what Martinelli does gets diluted a little bit, and in many, many ways they've actually helped him stay on the field, I think.
Well, that's just part of it, though, as well, isn't it? This sort of incident, Jay, from a player's perspective in particular, your teammates are going to get riled up.
I mean, let me tell you right now, if that was me on the floor, and he didn't drop the ball either, Martinelli didn't drop the ball, he went like that, and then he's like nudging him in his back with his knee, and then he's like pushing him off the pitch, and you know, Conor's obviously got a serious injury. I think everyone can see that. These are the kind of, these are the kind of things that happen in a game, and we've seen it in the past, where if I'm Conor Bradley, as much as Martinelli's come out and he said sorry, I will not be forgetting that the next time I play against Martinelli.
In terms of the seriousness of his injury, though, watching that again there, when you see him go down, it's late on in a game as well. Is it obvious straight away that it's a serious injury? Because we now know that it was. He was stretchered off. But immediately, is it obvious?
I think that's irrelevant whether it's obvious or not. You don't act like that to another peer, for example. Yes, obviously they're trying to win the game. I understand that part. Everyone's anxious, you know, it's going back and forth. It's a high tempo game. I understand that part. But you don't put your hands on anyone on the football pitch. One, he's thrown the ball at him. You don't do that either. You nudge him with your knee, you don't do that either. And it's not okay to just come out afterwards and say, I'm sorry. Because in that moment, he was trying to react. He didn't think he was wrong.
OK, we'll get to all of the subsequent things that happen later. But for now, let's actually listen to what Roy Keane had to say about it last night.
No, I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all. Happened to me once before when I was badly injured. A player stood over me, and yeah, it's not good, because clearly we could see. Listen, we know football, we know players' reactions, we know he's a good lad. First of all, throwing the ball on him, standing over him, and if he's got a little knee in him here, if you watch it closely, he's trying to force him off. And I'm surprised the Liverpool players didn't go after Martinelli a bit more. I think Martinelli, that behaviour is absolute disgrace.
Well, listening to that, and given the provocation caused by the incident and the rest of the players getting involved, which Gary Neville also alluded to in commentary, could Martinelli be punished retrospectively for the incident, Dermot?
I think not, Hannah, because he's had a yellow card. He's had a yellow card for his actions. I still go back to what I say. If the players leave it to the referee's got a different landscape to deal with. But when they all pile in, he's got to check everybody else, and a lot of things get lost. But in that incident, I think Martinelli has made a very, very unwise decision.
Could it have been a red card?
No, I think there's not quite enough there.
But there was 3 kind of separate incidents in that one incident, really, because obviously he has thrown the ball at him.
He's dropped the ball on him.
No, he went like that. His hand's the opposite way around. Dropping it would be, he's got his hand with his palm facing upwards. He's actually, he's thrown it down.
Second one.
Then, obviously, he's nudging him with his knee, trying to get him off the pitch. That's another one. What was he doing that for? And then he's actually pushed him, he's shoved him. So, like, to me, I'm looking at that and I'm saying, there's kind of 3 separate incidents there that can be another yellow card.
Very, very rarely you see 2 yellow cards for 1 incident.
But you do see it. We have seen it. We see it the other day with Paquetá. That's the same incident still.
Not a very good example, because...
But it's the same incident.
Not a very good example, because Paquetá was told to back off 4 times.
Yeah. And
he still came back at the referee.
But I'm saying, nonetheless, it's still the same incidents.
For having to go at the referee when even his teammates told him to stop.
Yeah.
The last player that was sent off in the Premier League, believe it or not, for two incidents in one, was Martinelli at Wolves.
Okay, but I'm saying to you, at the end of the day, that's 3 incidents in one where you could book him. If they were all separate on the pitch during a whole game, you could definitely book him for 2.
Yeah, I get that.
That's why I'm saying, and for me as well, as a player, I'm looking at that, and you know, like Gary Neville said there, and like Roy Keane. I mean, definitely Roy Keane. He's had that incident himself with Alfie Haaland. You know, you don't forget things like that because it's like, why are you putting your hands on someone? You know, Martinelli doesn't know if he's really injured or not, but ultimately, you don't need to put your hands on someone.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you next, Jay. In terms of Martinelli has said that he has since apologised. He posted on social media saying, "I didn't appreciate the seriousness of Conor Bradley's injury. I've apologised to him since we've spoken." As a player, would that be enough for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, yeah, thanks a lot, but like I said, the next time I play against you, that won't be forgotten.
Well, what's the deterrent? How do we stop this happening then, Dermot, with that in mind, looking ahead to the next time these guys play, and more generally?
Be strong, be proactive, be on the front foot.
Okay, well, there were also a couple of penalty appeals which were turned down in this game. First, Hincapi on Frimpong. Let's have a look at this one. Dermot, keen to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this?
I didn't think it was a penalty. I think if you look, Frimpong actually, his ankle turns and he actually catches Hincapi here. If you see there, his ankle turns. But I don't think it's a foul.
I agree with that one, Dermot. I feel like Hincapi has put his foot like forward, and it's just unfortunate that he's kind of hit his toe in a way that's made his ankle flop. But I wouldn't like to see soft incidents like that given as a penalty.
Yeah, what about this one in the second half then? Leandro Trossard on Florian Wirtz. Were you surprised perhaps that this one wasn't given? Yeah,
I was surprised because, I mean, first of all, Wirtz showed great skill here, and then when he's gone through, he's do you know what saved him here? I mean, I don't even like that, what Gabriel's doing to Wirtz either, is like gripping him up and trying to drag him around. Like, don't do that, don't put your hands on me. But anyway, the skill that Wirtz has shown there is fantastic. The thing that saves him is his touch is heavy and it goes almost off the pitch. I'm not sure if Raya keeps it in, but that's what saved Arsenal from not having a penalty against them.
Dermot, do you agree?
I think it's absolutely true. If you look at it, he's pushed the ball so far. He's then gone over. The referee said...
But Dermot, one thing I would say though, sorry, if that touch was closer, I would give a penalty for that. I do think it's a penalty challenge, but because it's gone far enough away, I think that's the reason why it wasn't given. Sorry, Dermot.
I agree.
Okay, let's move on because it was a busy second game as a pro. Hello, welcome along to Ref Watch. It's been another busy Premier League midweek programme full of controversy, including a fairly unsavoury finish at the Emirates. Jay Bothroyd and Dermot Gallagher are ready to discuss that and all the other big talking points.
Michael Keane sent off. He can't believe it.
I think it's not deliberate tugging of the hair. Certainly not violent.
Wilson, pulled back right on the edge of the penalty area. Correa is off.
The 10, my final decision is penalty kick.
Dismay for Nuno as well. Now he has his head in his hands.
First, though, Manchester City have officially announced the signing of Antoine Semenyo from Bournemouth on a 5.5-year contract. We understand the deal is for £64 million. So far this season, the Ghana international has 10 goals and 3 assists in 20 Premier League games. And we'll hear from Semenyo himself at 10 a.m. And then we'll get more on this at 12:30 when Pep Guardiola holds his news conference, which we will, of course, bring you live right here on Sky Sports News. Right, let's get into it though then. And a controversial